competitor he is in the season that he was putting together, but you also love the way that his teammates responded last night.
Of course, I had a season ending injury myself. So being able to have your teammates is going to be there for him. He's going to need them as he go through this process of not being able to play basketball. And he has the right group of guys to be there for him and give him that support.
Well, the good news is the Spurs picked up another closer this month, De'Aaron Fox, who got 11 of his 26 in the fourth quarter last night as the Spurs pulled away from the Suns.
Yeah, this is a familiar territory when you look at De'Aaron Fox. Being in Sacramento, being here now with the Spurs and not having all his pieces. He's a guy that can carry the load. He's a guy that's going to be able to have to carry this load for this team as well. As you see, 11 points in the fourth quarter, being able to, create some distance in that win last night. And De'Aaron Fox is being De'Aaron Fox, which is a heck of a player.
Yeah, he was knocking on the door of the triple-double, as you saw there, with 9 rebounds and 7 assists. But it wasn't just De'Aaron Fox. It was the entire Spurs team. In fact, all 4 players off the bench, TJ, all scored in double figures, including Steph Castle got his first career double-double with 10 points and 10 rebounds last night.
You heard Chris Paul. Chris Paul said it's going to be by committee. It's going to be a team effort. And you look at these guys throughout the entire season, they've been having different lineups and different matchups. But when you look at the coaching staff, these guys are always prepared, always ready for their name to be called, and they always able to be focused, locked in, and very productive last night.
So we talked about the Detroit Pistons at the top. They're number 6 in the Eastern Conference. Probably the biggest surprise in the NBA this season. They've got the biggest win differential year over year from last season, TJ. And Cade Cunningham, who was drafted 4 years ago out of Oklahoma State, he has never played against the Spurs. This will be his first matchup against the Spurs here tonight.
That's pretty. That's some crazy news to finally hear. But when you look at a guy like Cade Cunningham, who's been a high draft pick, a guy that had high expectations, being able to showcase his talent as an all-star and being able to take the Detroit Pistons, who no one expected to be in the position they are in the East, he's a heck of a player, and he's going to have to come out tonight and be really, control his effort, because he's the key to this Pistons team.
This is Detroit's first game out of the All-Star break, obviously, so they've had a little bit of a longer rest. And you were talking before, the Spurs have 8 back-to-backs in their final 30 games of the season. They got 29 games here over the final 52 days of the regular season.
Yeah, you don't like all the back-to-backs, but they have been very, very consistent. They've been very productive with their preparation. So the back-to-backs for them hasn't been as bad as most people would think, where it's tired legs or fatigue. I just think they're accustomed to the schedule that they have in place. And I just think they have a winning attitude and a winning environment to show people in the NBA that they're a team on the rise.
How can last night's win jumpstart the rest of this rodeo road trip before the Spurs head back to San Antonio?
Well, you always want to get that first win. Coming back out to All-Star, that's important, just like the first win of the basketball season when you start the season off. So that's an impressive win. And you look at the confidence of having 4 guys off the bench, being able to be in double figures, and collectively, if you look at the assist-to-turnover ratio and the field goal percentage off those assists, was a heck of a night for our guys. They can come back out tonight and do it again. We'll have the same results.
It was an impressive win. We got a couple of impressive guys to talk about it coming up on the other side. Sean Elliott and the little general Avery Johnson.
Your baseline jumper against the Knicks during your last telecast. How have you been?
Man, I've been incredible. Glad to be back. Hello to all of my San Antonio Spurs fans. Go Spurs, go. The little general is in the house. Well, maybe we can drop the little off my name right now. Since I'm turning 60, we can drop the little.
The big general.
All right, okay.
Hey, we got the Admiral, the big general. Hey, let's talk about a little bit about Victor Wembanyama and all the talk that's been going around. You and I were talking about it earlier. We were in that situation in 96, 97. Big Dave goes down about 15 games in the season. But we're both players. You being a coach and coaching for many years, how do you keep your team from being down? How do you rally guys and keep them from feeling sorry for themselves in a situation like this?
And you're absolutely right. That was a totally different situation, because Big Dave's injury happened early in the season. This team has a chance to still make it into the play-in and maybe potentially make some noise. So my message would be no excuses. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. Make sure that we cover for one another even more than we did on the defensive end when Wemby was playing, because he corrected a bunch of mistakes. Compete at a high level. And I think the main thing is, you got to communicate effectively on the court, on offense and defense. And if you can care more about winning than your individual stats, it can take the team a long way. We saw the exhibit Exhibit A of that last night against the Phoenix Suns. I was in the house hanging out with our buddy Charlie Amato, and I was really impressed what I saw on the offensive and the defensive end.
Well, speaking of communication, one guy out there communicates with everybody on both ends of the court. That's Chris Paul. Coming from that point guard position and the coaching position, what have you seen in his game this year and throughout his career that impresses you?
I was so excited when we signed CP3, especially with a group of young players that can use his tutelage, his leadership. I mean, I played in 1,300 games, and CP3's played in a ton of games. And I retired at 39 and he's 39. So for him to play at such a high level, where it's not only illustration by telling the guys what to do, but it's also demonstration that he's still a starter at this stage of his career. So not only talking to the guys about how to play the game the right way, he's actually demonstrating it out there on the floor. And now he's, second in steals, 500 steals or so behind John Stockton.
Yeah.
For him to do it in the Spurs uniform, I'm so proud of CP3.
I got on the bus to come to the game, and there you are, about 3 or 4 rows in there. You gave me a big hug. I was excited to see you, brother. Are you excited to work this game tonight?
I'm thrilled, and I can feel the love in the air. As soon as I got off the plane here in Austin, folks were saying General, Lil General, AJ, and it's just so gratifying because I've told people wherever I've gone with different NBA teams I've played with, I've coached in college, the Spurs fan base is unlike any fan base I've seen of any sport.
No question.
Not just NBA, but of any sport. So I'm glad to be back here with a bunch of love in the air, and I hope that we can knock off the Detroit Pistons.
That's right. No more Little General, simply the General. Back to you, Dan.
Yeah, we love you, Avery, and you're the one guy who can certainly take more there from Sean down on the floor. We got more coming up here as we get.
Last time Kevin Durant played in Austin, Texas, he was a freshman with the Longhorns, and he was spectacular. His squad taking on the Spurs tonight in Austin. San Antonio, obviously, without Victor Wembanyama for the rest of the season. He's got deep vein thrombosis. We start you off in the first. Chris Paul gets a steal on the bad pass by Devin Booker and moves past Jason Kidd for second place on the all-time steals list. Later, Bol throws it away. De'Aaron Fox gets the steal, then dishes to Stephon Castle for the jam on Bol. Later, Jeremy Sohan to De'Aaron Fox for the pump fake and the drive for the floater. Then it's Julian Champagnie. Nice assist in transition to Keldon Johnson for the layup. And San Antonio up 45-32 again, playing without Wembanyama. Kevin Durant pulls up and hits the turnaround jumper here. Then Durant to Royce O'Neal for the layup. This ties the game at 45 apiece. Then O'Neal to Kevin Durant. Jeremy Sohan tips it out of bounds. Kevin Durant and Chris Paul getting into it there. And Kevin Durant, staring right down at Chris Paul. Chris Paul responds by making a three-pointer. That's how you responded. 60-54, San Antonio in the lead. Later, there's Shaq's Big Chicken, and everybody taking a look at Shaq's Big Chicken, their family style, and scan the QR code if you wish. Later in the third, Royce O'Neal gets the steal, but throws it away to Devin Vassell for the drive and finger roll. Chris Paul airballs it, but Sohan is there for the rebound and the reverse dunk. That's almost Lorenzo Charles' 1983 National Championship game material. Look it up on YouTube if you wish. Devin Booker pulls up and hits the three. Then Devin Booker to Kevin Durant for three. And it's 98-96, Phoenix in the lead. But less than 3 minutes to go as De'Aaron Fox driving, getting fouled, puts in the layup. And San Antonio just pushed away down the stretch. They get the win. Your final score 120-109.
Which Slater Martin is, or you have to be the National Basketball Player of the Year, which you were along with Kevin Durant.
Man, it was an incredible feeling being able to get drafted, get your jersey retired by the University of Texas, something that was totally unexpected. And what else could I ask for? It's a dream come true.
What's it like being able to call a game here now?
Man, I love it. I'm enjoying it. Anytime I get an opportunity to share my wisdom and knowledge for the game of basketball and watch some of the best players in the world, and especially the Spurs, my dream, I couldn't ask anything else.
It's pretty cool what they've done here at the Moody Center, and what a partnership between the University of Texas and the Spurs. We got Spurs and Pistons as the I-35 series continues. Jacob Toby, Sean Elliott, and the big general Avery Johnson to bring you all the action. Enjoy it here on Ken's 5.